Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's Workshop. So in previous videos, I've shown you how to make books all different types of ways, and I will leave links in the description. But today we're going to be using beauty supplies to create our books. So I'm going to start this out by using a clump of end papers to create the pages. And if you're not familiar with end papers are what we used back in the day to wrap the ends of our hair before we put our curlers in. And I know a lot of people don't use curlers anymore, but yeah, it's still a thing. So I'm going to need some books and magazines for an upcoming project, and I don't want to wait till it's time to set it up. So I figured I'd go ahead and show you how I do this. So I start out by grabbing a nice clump of the little end papers and cutting them down to size and trying to line them up as much as possible. Now, as you know, I'm not real precise on my measurements or even my cutting technique. As long as I get it within the range, I think it's going to be okay, because I want the books to look a little bit rumpled up and old. I don't want them to look perfectly perfect, so this technique works out well for me. Now you will need to take your time with this part to line up the little pages because they're really thin and wispy, but you want to create the back of the book or magazine, and you want it to be as neat as possible. Now at this point, I'm not really sure why I'm using the dullest scissors that I have available, but if you use sharp scissors or even a paper cutter, you'll be able to get really nice, neat, blunt edges. But after a little wasted time, I got what I needed. So here I've got a nice little stack of papers into a decent little chunk. So at this point, it's just about time to add the glue. So the first thing I do is gather everything together and clamp it with a binder clip. Now the binder clip is the part that's going to be open, and the part that's exposed here is the part I'm going to add glue to. Now here I'm adding an ample amount of white glue. Any PVA will work. And I'm kind of smushing it into the edges of the back of the paper as much as possible. And I want it to get in between the layers of the pages. And then I'm kind of mushing it down, because I do want the glue to compress between the pages and seal off that part that's to be bound, which will create a really nice strong spine for my book. Now, I did repeat this process several more times to create more than one book and magazine, but let me go on and show you how I created a faux leather cover for this and the other books. So I'm using a brown paper bag, and some may ask, how is a brown paper bag beauty supplies? Well, in my family, there was a time where the ladies would use strips of brown paper bag to wind their hair up and tie it to create curls in their hair. But in this instance, I'm crumpling up the brown paper bag as much as possible to just kind of break down the fibers and put quite a bit of texture into it. Now, you're kind of just going to really want to rumple into it really, really rough. Now, I really like the grocery store brown paper bags the most for doing things like this. Now, you can use the brown paper that comes in packages, but sometimes it's kind of thin. I like the heavier paper because it seems to be a little bit more durable and able to withstand the moisture. And when it's really wrinkled and the fibers are broken down, it actually begins to feel more like fabric than paper. So now that you've added enough wrinkles and textures to the bag, now it's time to add your product. So the product I'm using today is leave-in hair conditioner, but I've also heard that fabric softener works too. Now I simply squeezed a little bit out in my hand and I'm rubbing it into the bag. Now if you feel more comfortable, you can lay your bag out flat and apply it to the surface that you're going to paint. But the purpose of the conditioner is to soften your material and make it more pliable. And you want to take the time to work it in because you don't want any gloppy or wet spots before you start painting. And at this point, you can go ahead and uncrumple it and begin to add any type of color you like. Now, some people use inks, but you can use acrylic paint. Now here you have a blank canvas. You can have fun and play with this and add any amount of colors that you want. Go ahead and do dry brushing, inks, create patinas, layers of colors. But when you're done, make sure you add an ample coat of Mod Podge. Now here I am just adding a little bit of brown acrylic paint. I'm just kind of dry brushing it on kind of haphazardly. You know, I don't want it to look like brand new leather. I want it to look a little worn and weathered. Now I did do several different pieces in different colors, but for this one, I'm done adding the brown dry brushing. Now I happen to be using the matte Mod Podge, but the satin or even the high gloss will work as well, depending on what type of leather you're trying to create. Now, if you're not used to using Mod Podge, don't worry. It does look thick and white and murky, but it's going to dry absolutely clear. So to ensure it's completely dry before you start working with it, allow it to dry for at least 30 minutes because you don't want it to be sticky and tacky when you're cutting your book covers. Now you can see how differently it looks now that the Mod Podge is dry. Now, as I mentioned, we're using this to create our book covers, but you can see a product like this can be useful for so many different things. Now, these are the trimmings that are left over from my book pages. I'm going to save them to use them for the trash cans in the office of the Dress Shop Dollhouse. So while we were working on the faux leather, the spines on the pages of the books were able to dry nice and firm, so we can go ahead and begin to assemble it. Now, in addition to using the faux leather, I'm using some remnant wallpaper to be the decorative lining for my books. Now, in this next frame, I'm cutting off a really small piece of the remnant wallpaper to be a reinforcement on the spine of one of my books. And I'm just kind of mashing it down on my mat to provide more definition to the spine. And I did the same thing to a couple more of the book spines. Now in this frame, I'm adding some wallpaper to the leather, but I'm actually not using this as a liner. I'm kind of using it to reinforce the leather to make it a little bit firmer. That wallpaper you see glued to the leather is actually going to be covered up by one of the other wallpapers. So for clarity, I just don't want you to think that this is how I add the liner. This was being used as reinforcement to the body of the book. Okay, so you see me here, I'm snipping off the corners so I'll be able to fold those ends down neatly and it won't be any lumpy overlap. Now I did trim off some of what I consider to be excess, and after I trimmed that out, I played around to make sure that my book was going to line up good with the way I constructed the body. And now I'm adding a bead of glue right along the edge of the leather so that I can fold it down to create the inside portion of the cover. So after adding the glue, you want to gently fold down those edges and fold them in on top of each other. And you're going to do that all the way around the book until all those edges are folded down. Now that the perimeter of the inside is all locked down, you can add a nice dab of glue or ample amount of glue down the center where the spine is going to go. Now you do want to control it, but you want it to be enough to hold the spine in. Now you want to take your little bound stack of end papers and press the edge that was reinforced directly into the glue. Now you want to give it a minute to set up. You don't want to start bothering it. You want to allow the glue to catch, so resist the urge to touch it. Now at this point, a really great way to distract yourself is to decide what paper you want to use to line the front and back of the book. So I'm going for something pretty simple. So I'm using this striped paper, which is the same paper that I use to line some of my suitcases. And I will leave a link in the description so you can see when I made those. And this paper was really easy to work with because it's striped, and I decided to use it vertically. So it was really easy to kind of line up the stripes. But I think that using old wallpaper or wallpaper remnants is a really great way to line your books and use up some of those scraps that are just too small to do anything else with. And you can see here in this frame that I left my strip of wallpaper kind of long, and I'm going to cut it off exactly where I need it after I get it fitted really neatly on the inside cover of the book. And in this frame, you see I'm adding my glue. I'm going all the way out to the edges. Now I am going to leave a tiny border on the inside of the book, but I'm mostly going up, right up to the edge of the leather cover. Now watch very carefully as I place my liner, and you'll be able to see how tiny that border is on the inside. Now after you've completed this part, you will add a little bit of glue to the inside of the liner that's going to lay against the pages as well. And then you'll flip it over and do the exact same thing to the back of the book. And I'm going to just let this part kind of play so you can see how it looks. Everything's pressed down. And then I'm going to flip my book around and then go ahead and do the other side. So now from this angle, you're able to see that both the front and the back of the books have been lined with the remnant wallpaper. And you do want to give this part a little bit time to dry before you fold the book all together, because you don't want any of the pages to get out of alignment with the liner. Now on this one you can see I didn't add my glue to that other inside page, so I'm just adding a little bit of glue just to that top flap so that it'll lock down to the actual pages of the book. Now after you've glued the lining paper in on the front and the back of your book pages, you have a complete book. Now I would advise to allow that to dry and get stable before you close everything down, because you don't want the pages or the liner to shift out of place before everything is settled. And you do want to apply pressure in the areas where you want the seams to be nice and clean while the glue is still damp, and you can make slight adjustments. And when you're comfortable with everything, go ahead and close your book. At this point, things should line up nicely, and you may want to put something heavy on top of it to help it keep its shape or stay closed. And if you see any glue oozing, clean it up really quickly, but this is the basics of your little faux leather-bound book. So let me go ahead and show you a few ways that I decorate my books. Now you can see here in this frame, I've cut out a few images of oriental carpets that I got out of an old miniatures catalog. Now the images are usually the perfect size for book covers, but they're really easy to cut down and customize. Now here's one I've chosen to put on top of one of my little leather bound books. I'm just trimming it a little bit down to size. Now you can use the Mod Podge or some PVA glue to glue it to the surface of your book. Now here I'm just checking my borders for when I line it up, but I ended up going ahead and just using a little Mod Podge on the surface of the leather cover. And after pressing my little carpet image into the Mod Podge, I smoothed it out to remove any bubbles. And once I felt like it was smoothed and blended in really good to the surface of the book with the little carpet image, I went on to add a nice ample coat of the Mod Podge to secure the image to the surface and seal off the book. Now I know that looks all thick and cloudy, but it's going to dry absolutely clear. So in keeping with the theme of this video, I've got to show you how to decorate your books using beauty supplies in the form of nail art stickers. Now these are just some gold scrolly decals, and I just peeled them off the sheet and stuck them right to the surface of the book. And after I stuck them to the surface of the book, they already have adhesive on them, but I sealed them with Mod Podge just like I did the other book with the carpets. And for extra interest, I added a few pieces to the spine. And here I am adding a generous coat of Mod Podge all around the book, and I'm standing it up on its side to allow it to dry. So I hope this video inspires you to use your imagination and open yourself up to the possibilities. Don't ever be hindered or stifled by not having what you think are the perfect supplies. If you allow your imagination to guide you, you'll find all the supplies you need. So really quick, let me show you these few book covers that my daddy cut out for me a few years back from a mail order magazine catalog. And so I glued them to a few stacks of the end papers and then glued some clusters of labels to the back to look like advertisements. I think a few Hot Rod books will look really nice among my men's accessories. Now, dolls, if you enjoyed this video today, I sure would like to know what you think in the comments. I always enjoy reading your comments and the feedback that you give me about what I share with you. And I'm really working on responding to all your comments, but I do appreciate your patience with me since I'm coming back from recovery from my ankle surgery. Now, if you're new to the channel and this is your first time watching and you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe, and always look for me on Mondays after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So dolls, I've got quite a bit of work to do, so let me get back to my craft table, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time right here on Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.